Perfect. All right. Yo, what is up, everybody? How is everyone doing? Wait for the live stream to roll in. You know what I'm saying? Guys, we got a special guest on the live today. Or I should say I will be a special guest. Either way, it's going to be a good live. Gonna be some interesting conversations going on. So hopefully you guys are ready for that. Someone comes on asking if I'm posting a vlog. Not right now, but there will be one soon for sure. So I just got to see where. All right, perfect. Guys, about to be a crazy live. All right. Waiting for the guest to join. We're in suspense, all right? We're waiting for the guest to join. Getting excited. Everyone in the comments, getting hyped. I think we're waiting. Yeah. I sent out the request, guys. We're waiting. Don't worry. I thought I was going to connect real quick, so I thought I could, come off with some, nice timing, witty joke. Didn't work out. It's fine. It's all good. We'll keep waiting. If you guys didn't see my story, you probably don't know who the guest is going to be. So that's crazy. We are going to try to guess the person one more time. For some reason, it didn't end up working out. I'm going to send another request, see what happens. Rafi, what is up? Hopefully it should work this time. Hey, we got it. The live is good to go.
Josh, baby, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. From the set of Shark Tank. Green screen. I'm shooting Shark Tank stuff today, and also playing a little guitar. Just screwing around.
Jeez, I didn't know we were getting a live show like that.
Hey, why not?
That's impressive. All right, I didn't bring any instruments to play, but wish I did.
I'm cranking up a little bit here. Let me get some more volume. Okay, that's good. How's that?
Perfect. Great.
Cool. So, I hear you're in business these days, right?
Yeah. I've been trying to expand my business portfolio. I've always been a business-minded kid, you could say. So I've been trying to, explore the entrepreneurial world.
Well, let's talk about that drink because, we see a lot of drinks on Shark Tank. The biggest problem is getting distribution. How have you solved that problem?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about Annie specifically and the strength of actually myself and Bryce being a part of it is the value we bring to those old legacy stores. Places like the Walmarts, the Targets that used to almost have this really cool youth and young feeling to them have now become a lot older and they don't really know how to target to these Gen Z audiences. Well,
right.
An energy drink like ours where our entire demographic, all of our supporters, the people watching these lives, they're all Gen Z, we're able to have that impact on those old legacy stores and bring them back into that kind of pop culture.
Are you getting those guys on side with you? Are they basically saying, look, we know you got a lot of followers. What I liked about because I went and checked it out, it's less of a jolt, right? You're not getting completely whacked out.
Exactly. It's more of a lifestyle drink is how we like to describe it.
Because I think a lot of people are starting to wonder how much crap they're putting in their bodies with those boost drinks and saying,
100%.
Like 5 years ago on Shark Tank, guys were coming in with heavy caffeine, blow your brains out caffeine. That's not good for you. And now people are saying, wait a second, what else can I get that just is a little bit of a lift, but not blowing my brains out? It seems you're addressing that market.
Yeah, for sure. And even what we use, when we're using green tea and it's promoted as a low calorie, low sugar drink, we're definitely looking at those markets because it's a big thing now. Even on TikTok, you start to see videos blow up where people are talking about, look at this brand new low calorie drink I just found, or look at this drink I started using instead of Pepsi or Coke, right? Like people are trying to find alternatives to those unhealthy sodas.
So so you would rather sell direct to somebody, you get 100% gross margin, right? Versus having to go through retail distribution. But on a drink, when you want it now. So you want to pick it up when you're filling up your car, you're in a Walmart, you're at a Target. You're going to try both? What's the big plan for world domination? I'm giving you the grill like you're on Shark Tank. If you were on Shark Tank right now, I'd be giving you this grill right now.
Right, for sure. Going D2C is awesome for us just because we have those, like I said, existing customers. Our fans are our customers. But something that people don't realize, or I think are missing from Bryce and I being a part of this drink, is when it is in distribution, we can blow that up even more if we do events showing up to those stores. Let's say we went to a Walmart and hosted a free meet and greet. Come in, try Annie with us and take a photo. We could guarantee that there's going to be minimum 5,000 girls showing up to a free meet and greet outside of Walmart. That all the Annie in that store is gone that entire day. Right?
Just on that story alone, I think you'd have all the sharks on side, because that's the power. That's the power of social media. You're right. I mean, if you can use that, everybody would like to have their own beverage. It's a dream for everybody. That's why we see so many pitches. But very few people have what you've got, 7 million followers. And I believe you when you tell me you're not going to blow my brains out. I just went and looked at it and said, that makes sense to me. He's differentiated his drink in a way that appeals to me from the health conscious side, because I really think now the next 2 or 3 years of people are after going through the pandemic, they care a lot about their health. They want good stuff. That's 100%. What they're focusing on.
You see other markets too, like the keto market blowing up during COVID, and people always looking for the fresh food providers, if that's like a subscription package. Like everyone's moving in that direction 100%.
Definitely. Okay, what else is on your mind these days?
A big thing is in the influencer world, how I think there are too many influencers that are worried about the quick cash brand deal than they are opposed to an equity deal. And the reason
you're preferring to be a partner. You want to go the equity side, say I'm in for the long term. Give me a piece of the business, and I'll figure out how to blow this up. That's your basic.
100%. And I mean, not only have I come to that, resolution, but mentors of mine, such as like Ashton Kutcher, have talked to me and said, back in the day when I was doing brand deals, when I was acting, if I would have taken equity instead of cash in all those deals, I would be a billionaire by now. Right? Like
you are totally 100% right, because when you can get a company to give you equity, or even if you have an in other words, first $1 million, I get 5%, second $1 million, I get 10%, third $1 million, I get 15%. When you're earning your way in, there's trust on both sides. That's totally the way to do it. And that's right. Equity long term, that's how you get rich. That's
exactly. It shows the companies too that you actually care about what they're doing because you have skin in the game, right? Like I want to show those companies like I'm fully involved. I support what you guys are doing. I want to be a part of this journey. I want to be a part of the story. Like when you're just doing a one-off Instagram story for $10,000 to $50,000, you're saying, hey guys, I really like this drink. It's so like people read through that too, right? My fans are going to be
they smell bullshit a mile away.
Exactly. They know when I'm being authentic about something and when I'm just doing something for a cash grab. And when I'm going and doing those equity deals, I'm making sure I'm picking companies that I believe in because I know I'm going to be spending that longer amount of time focusing on them.
Okay, Josh, let me ask you a question. All right. This is, if somebody says to you, look, this product fits with your brand, we really like it, but you don't use it. You don't use it. Okay. And you're never going to use it. Would you take equity in that deal?
It depends on the platform. So for example, or it depends on the deal, I should say. There are sometimes companies that come to me and a good example of one would be Breaker, a company that I just invested in. I wouldn't necessarily use that platform because it is more of an arbitrage play for the smaller TikTok creator. but that aligns with my story and my journey because when I first came out to LA and I first started Talent X, the company I founded, it was because we came off a tour. I found the social media industry wasn't very fair. There were a lot of creators getting ripped off. There was no one protecting the creator, and I wanted to do so. So it's a part of my journey or something that I care about and I'm passionate about, but I'm not necessarily using Breaker in the sense of going on the platform, finding a song with a small artist that can pay me a few $100s to go and create a post to it, because that's just not something I would do anymore.
The very fact that you're telling me this and everybody's listening tells me that you're not going to bullshit your constituency. The biggest problem I have with influencers, and I think the world's starting to figure this out real fast, is if you don't use it, tell people you don't use it. Tell them the truth so you don't get caught in a lie. Because
100%.
people smell bullshit so far away now, and it totally disses your brand forever. That's what I tell everybody now. So if you're going to take equity, and it's a big chunk, you got to love that product, man. You got to use it. You got to be part of your life. And people, and, you know, when you're out and no one is even taking pictures of you, and then somebody shows up and there you have that product on you, it's totally real. It's real.
Yeah, it's like when you see big influencers or actors or celebrities that take like a phone deal, for example, from Samsung or Apple, and then 4 weeks later you see them with the opposing company's phone, and you're like, wait a sec, what the heck?
They did it for the money.
Yeah, exactly. You catch on to it so quickly.
That's it. I'll tell you something about watches. I love watches. So that's an AP on a red band. That's my style. That's my classic look. I always wear red bands. But I don't go with any one brand because I want to wear all the brands. And it's more important to me to be, the only thing I tell the brands is if you want me to wear the watch, it's got to have a red band. And they say, well, we don't make red bands. I say, tough. Then I'm not going to wear your watch. It's that simple. But I'm honest about it. I wear everybody's watch that gives me a red band on it. And this is the only one in the world with a red band on it. But I think it's cool. That's my strategy. Be real. Be honest.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a question for you about you're very known for doing royalty deals on Shark Tank.
Correct.
And I guess I'm wondering, is it because there are a lot of companies that aren't actual like venture backable on businesses on the show, or like what's the reason for doing those royalty deals as well?
Okay, I'm going to share it with you, and I think you're going to understand it because you sound savvy enough to get the difference between royalties and equity. When there's a family business, Josh, when everybody in the family works in the business, like Wicked Good Cupcakes, everybody in the extended family, it's one of the fastest growing cupcake companies in America. Everybody that works there is blood, okay? You understand, they are a family member. The only way you get into that is your family. And then a dude like me comes along and says, I want to take a piece of your family's equity, but I'm not your family. I'm an investor. A better way to align our interests would be, give me a royalty on every cupcake. In the case of Wicked Good Cupcakes, it's legendary. Now I get 50 cents, and I've made millions of dollars off it. But I don't own any of the family business. They own it. It's their family. And that means every time a new generation moves up into their 18 or 20, they can work in the business as a family member. And you know, with family, it's different than outsiders. So a royalty works in a family business because everybody's aligned. I'm not cutting into their long-term family value because it's theirs. I'm their partner. Do everything in my power to increase sales because I get a 50 cents on every one. And everybody's cool with that. I think you can understand that. That's where the equity doesn't work because you're all of a sudden you're in the middle of a family. Like, that's uncool. I want them to have their own Thanksgiving.
That's exactly what you're saying. Yeah. 100%.
You get it, right?
Yeah. It gives the family the feeling too, where it's still like their passion project. It's still like it's a part of their family, right? Like that business, that company, those cupcakes.
Let me give you a different example, okay? This is Boost Oxygen. You talked about boosts with your drink. I'm in the Oxygen. All the athletes, all the skiers, all the skateboarders that want a boost in the afternoon, that's oxygen, baby, just like in an airplane. 95% oxygen, 5% air. That company's not a family business, Josh. I own a piece of the equity of that business. They want my name on that thing. It's just like you. I want it for the long run. We're going to blow it up in Walmart. We're going to blow it up in Target. We're going to blow it up everywhere. I need a piece of the action. You are 100% right, but that's not a family business.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. No, I 100% get that.
I don't need a royalty there. I don't need a royalty. I'm not taking a royalty. I'm just In the afternoons, I'm boosting. But at the same time, I own a piece. And so I want this thing to hit it big. And then when we sell it to a big player in consumer goods, I'm going to make a ton of dough. And that's why they call me Mr. Wonderful, I think.
So what are some of the funniest moments on Shark Tank? Like, if you could think of like one or two, I just want to know what do you think, if it's even like behind the scenes things that people don't know, whatever it is, what would be one of the funniest moments?
You know, I've been working on that show for 13 years, and always to my right-hand side is Barbara. Barbara.
Yeah.
I've known Barbara a long, long time, and I'm going to tell everybody that's listening right now, the only reason Barbara gets to the set of Shark Tank, wherever we film it, is because I bought her a new broom. She flies there. That's
it. Oh my gosh, that is funny.
that's hey, listen, man, that's true. You see her flying in the sky in that broom, that's a new model. I get her every year so she can get
Really?
around.
That's
I'm
very
not kidding.
generous of you.
Well, I'll
That's
tell you,
nice
John,
of you to think
I'll tell you
about
a lot of things about Shark Tank is that you don't see the crazy things that happen, because sometimes, you ever heard that story in a marching band, okay, where people are standing before the football game for too long, they've got their knees locked? What happens to them is they pass out. That's happened on Shark Tank. We had these dudes that came in that were selling an application, you know, sort of around the time that Instagram was blowing up with photos, and they had something attached to it. And they were standing, the big guy was like 6'7", and he was right in front of me, and he was just stiff and standing with his knees locked. And all of a sudden, I thought I was hallucinating when I saw him start to fall like a tree, like this.
it. Just started to tip over.
Right into the cement. And we had it on camera. Like, the guy's face was not looking so good, okay? It was not a great, and when he woke up, after we got him, you know, the Emerge guys came in, they gave him some oxygen. He said, how about this, guys? How about we just check out a Dodge here and you never show that to anybody? That's what happened. But it was a crazy moment. My instinct, your instinct when somebody's passing out is to jump out of the chair and catch them. And like, everybody, all the sharks started to do that. You can see them coming out of their chairs.
Like, everyone kind of jolts. Yeah.
That was nuts. Let's talk about something that I wanted to ask you about, given all the stuff that's going down in the market this last week. The whole Reddit thing, the stuff that went down on Robinhood. You know, my son is working out in at Tesla, okay? He's electrical engineer, he just started, and he called me up on Wednesday and said, Dad, I'm sticking it to the man. I've opened up an account, and I'm going after these pigs that are, you can call them that. I'm saying that. He said, I'm going after these greedy guys that are shorting this stock, and we're going to take them to the wall. And I said, you got to be careful what you're doing. Like, anyway, he didn't listen to me, and he made himself about $700 in 2 minutes.
Right.
But then I said to him, and this is the question I've got for you, okay? When you're day trading, and I'm totally cool with that. I don't have a problem. You're not really investing. You're in and out, you're in and out, you're in and out. But when you're in your 20s, if you took just $100 a week and put it aside into really investing, which is like you buy a stock index or something, like an ETF, and you just forget about it, and you go through the next 40 years of your career, that's going to be like $1.5 million in the bank, even if you only make 50 grand a year.
Yeah. I was going to say, I wanted to talk to you a little bit, and I think this might be where you're going, and I'll let you continue after, but with some stuff with beanstalks.
Totally. I totally want to blow beanstalks up, because there's 100 million guys and women in America that do not have any strategy. You have a strategy for your retirement. You're working for your retirement. You're doing deals for your retirement. You're planning ahead for when you're an old dude and you don't have to work anymore. You have a plan. But 100 million people, and many people listening right now, don't have a plan. So I want them to think about beanstalks.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that's also, it's so not educated really in school, like that you can put away this little bit of money and how much it would actually be at the end. Like, no one really gets to look at that. And that's something that I want to stress to everyone listening on this live stream right now, is like the importance of like financial literacy. Like, go look into that stuff. Go look at beanstalks, because this week, I think this last week has brought a lot of attention to like stocks. And I just hope that people don't think that they can just go and invest in any little penny stock or some small stock and it's going to explode because of a viral video on TikTok. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what happened. But I think here's the thing I'd say about what occurred and Robinhood. The reason I'm a fan of Robinhood's is that, just like you said, there's no financial literacy. We never taught anybody about credit cards, never taught them how to invest. And so they get out of high school and they don't know what's going on, and they end up with a huge credit card debt, and they're paying 17% interest. And then along comes this guy, Vlad, at Robinhood, and says, hey, look, I know the banks don't care about you because you only got $200 to invest. I know the online brokers don't care about you because you're an unprofitable account. We don't make any money off small guys. Come and work with me, and I'll find you a place to learn. He's got 16 million people on board. I think that's totally right, what he's done. And now he's getting criticized by everybody saying, oh, he's a bad dude, and he's getting all this stuff, he's getting sued and all this. He's the only guy that started to teach people how to learn, how to invest. They don't have to day trade. They can take 10% of whatever they make and stick it into an app like Beanstocks. And that's what I want to talk about. Beanstocks does the work. I helped design it so you don't have to worry about day trading. It puts it to work in ETFs, and you just transfer in $100 a week if you can do it.
Right.
My mother taught me how to do that, and that's how you end up with money in the bank. You got to check it out. It's really easy. There's lots of apps, but they're day trading apps, or they're rounding up credit card apps. I want something real easy. That's what Beanstocks is.
Right. This kind of takes away the risks of the day trading too, where it's, you're investing in one, in one company or one stock.
Yeah. I'm not against day trading. I'm not against it. I'm not against it. I'm just saying, what about yourself? What are you doing for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know what you're doing, Josh, for yourself. I totally get it. That's pretty smart. You're building a brand and you're monetizing it, and more power to you. But not everybody gets to do what you did. And so they have to have another strategy. And putting aside $100 a week, don't buy the sneakers, don't buy the jeans. Invest it in yourself is what I'm talking about here. That's what
take a little cut away from the paycheck if you're working at McDonald's or Dairy Queen, whatever you're doing as a kid. Like, even start with, like, I think the thing is people always think they need to start when they're like 25, or they're like, oh, I don't need to start yet, and they're only 15, 16. But why not start when you're 15, 16 and get an extra 10 years up of, putting that money aside and making that money?
Well, what do you do to curtail your urge to just buy a bunch of shit? Like, what do you do? Like, do you say to yourself, I don't need a Lamborghini because I'd rather have it making 8% in the market every year? What do you do?
So, luckily, I think I got to give a little credit to my parents, where they were always kind of on me about not spending too much. But I've always personally been someone that has looked at things like the cars and the shirts, and it doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand what's so cool about going and purchasing those things. I'm also in a situation where I'm a little bit lucky, where companies will send me things for free. So for creators, I never understand why an influencer ever goes and spends their money on Louis Vuitton or Fendi or anything, because all those companies just send the stuff for free as well. I just think that you should just be aware of what you're buying. If that's keeping a little, I used to keep a notebook and really just tally up, like, what are my purchases this week? And I eventually started realizing, like, oh, Uber Eats, for example, was I was spending like $150 a day on Uber Eats. It was like, all right, maybe I should buy some groceries instead and stop buying Uber Eats all the time, because I'm just losing extra money for no reason. So even little things like keeping notes, keeping a book, do something to make sure you're thinking about what you're spending consciously.
The way I think, I like what you're saying, because you're right. When you take something and blow $150 on something you could make yourself for 20, you basically took $130 and you killed it. You killed it because it could have gone into your savings, your Beanstocks, your long-term thing, and it would have been making 6-8% a year. But you ate it. You ate it. You killed it. And that's
literally ate it.
You really ate it. Like, that's, and I kind of agree with that philosophy. And I tell people, I got in a lot of shit for telling people, don't buy a coffee for $4.50 when you can make it for 25 cents. Why don't you take the $4.25 and invest it in yourself and your long-term future? Well, wow, they really went after me on social for that, but it's the truth. It's the truth.
Well, I mean, if you're buying a coffee every day, right, like saving $4 a day a week, now you started talking about saving like $28 a week, and then that becomes $100 a month, right? And then it's just like adding and adding, and then you also put that into an account that's giving you a return, it's just more and more money down the line. Like you're going to realize that $4.25 after 3 years of saving that, and then the interest as well, would it be close to, who knows, maybe $1 million in
Well,
30,
it
40,
gives you
50
6
years.
to 8% a year. It has for the last 100 years, and it'll probably keep doing the same. When I logged on, I heard you talking about a podcast. Are you doing that too?
Yeah, I actually am going to film an episode right after this. I think a lot of people think I went on that podcast like just for fun, and but there's so much strategy behind doing something like that as well. It's about adding depth to a personality, right? I was viewed as just a TikToker a few months ago, 6 months ago.
Right.
And then doing things like adding this podcast, showing an hour of myself talking and personality, that gives such a different feel for who I am. And it's the same when I do the entrepreneurial things and the business side of things. That's adding depth. It's going to a different demo as well.
Are you going to merge those thoughts together? I mean, are you going to start thinking about, okay, if I'm going long and I'm buying equity in a company, basically, because when they give you equities for your services, you're essentially buying it. And so are you going to kind of try and merge those two together so that you're talking about what you're doing with that company, giving people an idea of how that whole deal works? Because there's a lot of interest in that kind of thing.
I think I would love to start actually a business podcast down the line where I'm giving information about, my projects or my investing, or what I'm doing right now is I've been going on a lot of different podcasts, sharing my story or talking. If that was like Ed Millett's recently I went on, but I definitely think that people miss even like the demo change, right? Barstool, that whole audience over there is more of a male demographic as well, something that I don't have a lot of. The thing about that demographic is they're a total different customer. They spend on different things. So if I'm trying to do more content in the sports world, or maybe target my merch in a certain way, that audience is so important, and I don't have access to that.
I think those guys, given your followership, those guys, and I went to New York to visit with them, and some of the guys that used to work with Dame and John, that I'm obviously working on Shark Tank with, are now at Barstool. And we talked a lot about the partnership potential, because they really developed a new model there. And they're probably someone you should go up and talk to a little bit, because you're exactly the demo for many of the followers on that. I wanted to ask you another question too, because I did something last night I'd never done before. Everybody's been hitting on me on my Instagram account to join the Clubhouse. Just every day someone else is pitching me, Clubhouse this, Clubhouse that, Clubhouse this. So Damon called me again, guy that I work with a lot. Damon John said, look, I'm sending an invite to Clubhouse. Let's do a Clubhouse tomorrow. And I know Pomp quite well, and I called him up and said, Pomp, what's going on with with the Clubhouse thing? He said, let's do it. Let's just do it at 9 o'clock. So I had 0 followers, never done it before. What a shit show. I was going to do it for 30 minutes. I was on there for 2 hours having so much fun. It was crazy.
It's awesome. I think you actually were talking with someone that was involved in Annie named Swan.
Yes.
Yeah. She's awesome. She's amazing. She absolutely killed it.
She was really cool. She's a total brand. She's a total brand.
She's a genius. She is a genius on the brand side, and like what to do with Annie. She's absolutely killed it. We would be hurting without her. There's so much she's done for us. But I wanted to talk about
her, Josh, saying this woman knows her shit. She really, really gets it. And I said, hey, let's keep talking to her. Like, this is like Shark Tank 101 right now. It was fantastic. It was great.
What would you have said? So like tech multiples are crazy right now, right? Like they're getting valued at a crazy amount. What would happen if Clubhouse was pitched on Shark Tank? Because it just raised $100 million at a $1 billion valuation. It has 3 million users, and it has no revenue, 0 revenue. So if they
that's
came
exactly
to you guys,
what I asked Swan. Josh, I said to Swan, what's the deal with the 100 million? Where is this I know we're having fun. I'm playing my guitar. We're talking to all kinds of people. We're having a great time. I'm really enjoying it, but I don't see any cash flow here.
Right.
I don't see any cash flow. What are you going to do? Hit me with an ad in the middle? Stop talking. We're going to show everybody an ad right now? I don't think that's going to work. How's that going to work?
That's the question. I think the cool part about Clubhouse is that it is starting to introduce a completely new influencer. There's going to be a market now for an influencer that is actually an intellectual, right? Like before, it's always been an Instagram star blows up because they're really good looking, right? Or a TikToker is making a video without his shirt on again. You know what I mean? Like it's always something to do with these looks or celebrity crushes for influencers. And now with Clubhouse, you're seeing these people with hundreds of thousands of followers. I mean, Swan, we were talking about, I think she almost has 1 million followers on the platform. So that's so valuable for businesses that, you know, like Shopify or PayPal to go advertise there where they know they're hitting an audience that's going to use them every single day instead of a YouTuber that might have 12-year-old fans. So maybe they're only reaching really 25% of the people they want.
Well, Swan said that, well, one of the big problems I see, though, is like when Elon went on the other day, everybody was jacking it by just feeding it back into YouTube or feeding it back into Insta Live or whatever they were doing. But they were jacking it because the room couldn't get past 5,000 people on it, right? So I don't know why they just want to hold the limit at 5,000. If people want to hear what a guy has to say, let it up to 100,000, whatever it's going to be. Like, what's the
100%.
deal? What's the problem with that? And so I asked Swan that, and she said it was early days, right? And that she was, you know, thinking about the brand matter. What I liked about what she said, and this is why I started to really respect her, she said, getting the emotional connection to a brand is a bitch. It's really, really hard because people don't trust it. But when you get that emotional connection, and maybe that's occurring right now with Clubhouse, it lasts a lifetime. It's magic. It's power. It's just a unique, monetizable thing in ways you don't even know yet. And maybe that's really what you're thinking about. I mean, anyway, I got to do some more stuff with her. She was really cool. That's the first time I ever worked with her before, but you're absolutely right. Did she help you?
I mean, she helped me set up when we did Pitch Room on Clubhouse, and then she like I said, she also helps a ton with the energy drinks. So she's just been awesome.
So are you doing Clubhouses? Are you doing them yet?
Yeah, I've done a couple. We did 2 pitch rooms where we just heard pitches and from founders and like gave our advice or tried to help them. And then I think we actually followed up with a couple as well. There's some really cool companies that we end up finding on there. And I actually did last week when all the Sunday football was going on. I did a room just talking about both games after, just because I'm a sports guy. So
Brady, like I'm such a Brady fan. How screwed up do you think New England is right now with what they did? The Gronk and Brady, what are they, idiots? What a mistake!
I know, like you give up Brady on your own, you're already messing up. It's crazy, and Brady just proved everyone wrong by pretty much saying like, oh, it's the coach, it's not Brady, or oh, it's the team. Like Brady went to a brand new team, makes it to the Super Bowl first year again. Like he's crazy. He's so talented.
I guess what I would have done had I been New England and the Kraft family is signed him for 2 more seasons, signed Gronk with him, just because Brady isn't slowing down at 42. He's a different kind of guy, and he's
just a different quarterback now, but it's still an amazing quarterback.
But it also goes to the whole idea of health. Like that guy talks about all these anti-inflammatory things that he does and what he eats. He doesn't eat foods that cause inflammation. Like he's totally into this no inflammation in his 100%. Body. And I'm watching the results saying he's onto something. Like that's why everybody's into health now. That's what really matters. I'll tell you, I'm going to give you an idea what we should think about. I'll get a few sharks together if you want to join us, and we'll do a Clubhouse to hear pitches. But have you on the panel too. You want to try that? We could really be a guest.
Awesome.
Because what I'd like to see is I'd like to hear your ideas on. We're gonna get people to come in that are gonna pitch us on how they can build brand. You know, we're gonna be a little specific about what we're gonna get. You'll be our kind of influencer guy, and I'll bring in maybe 2 or 3 sharks, and we'll hear what they got.
I'd love to do that. Let's do it.
We'll load up a room, man. I can tell you that.
I know. I bet you that'll be a 5,000 person room.
All right.
We'll get right to the max.
I can make that happen. I'll be in touch with you. That would be a lot of fun. That would really be fun.
Oh yeah.
So listen, I gotta move on. I gotta do the same thing you are doing. I gotta shoot some stuff. I'm gonna play us out. I gotta show you my guitar here. I'm really proud of this. I've been doing a lot of stuff these days. I've gone into the recording studio. My new idea these days is instead of getting rights for the music that we put on our YouTube, we stick on our LinkedIn and all that, because I'm always getting in shit for stepping on other people's music. How about I record my own? Like that way the YouTube guys don't bug me, right?
Yeah, exactly. Who, that was crazy. I did not expect that at all.
Hey, I'm just throwing it out there. Everybody wants to be a rock star, man. You know that.
That's true.
That's,
Three of my roommates want to be rock stars. I definitely know that.
yeah, that's cool. Listen, it's been fun working with you.
Yeah, great talking with you, man.
We'll see you when we'll do the shark thing together. That'll be a lot of fun.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Take care, man. Thanks.
Yeah, bye. All right, guys, that was the live. I hope you guys all enjoyed, learned something, new. Make sure you guys do go check out Beanstalks, all that stuff. Educate yourself on financial literacy. I'm gonna go record BFF's pod, so stay tuned for that. Peace.